Alright, good morning guys, for myself. So, today is the 7th, so we're going to see what happens with the EX raids today. Will Mewtwo drop? Will it be something else? Will this be a complete disaster? I'm leaning towards complete disaster. The EX raid system, it just is, I'm very suspicious about it. I'm suspicious about the way it's going to go down, and it seems like it's just a money-grubbing attempt to basically sell legendaries, which they've been doing, only to sell them even more in a seemingly more innocuous way. Now, Mewtwo's catch rate has increased up to 6%. So, twice as easy to catch as the legendary birds, and 3 times easier to catch than the legendary beasts. So we got the curveball there. Now, if you count in the 6% base capture rate along with the curveball bonus, which is a 1.7 multiplier, a golden raspberry, which is a 2.5 multiplier, a gold medal for psychic typing, 1.3 multiplier, and if you manage to get an excellent throw with a 1.85 multiplier, you're looking at almost a 50% catch rate from Mewtwo. Now, why such a high catch rate? Well, because they don't want people to end up going to these raids and not catching it. But I think there's going to be another issue. If enough people show up to the raids, then if enough people show up to the raid and you beat Mewtwo, it should be easy to catch him, assuming you land those throws. Even if you throw horrible throws, you're not getting the excellent or the curveball multipliers, you still have a fairly decent shot. The problem with the EX raid passes is, what happens if I raid a Magikarp raid by myself and end up with an EX raid pass for it? I'm the only one. What if I'm the only one who's done a battle at that gym in a while? If I'm the only one in my small town and I have to do rural raids, I can only take on, maybe level 3 solo, but I certainly can't do any 4 or 5 level raids. So I'm going to be pretty frustrated if, it's based on RNG and randomly I get picked for one of the raids I've done, but I've only done small raids by myself in a small town. So I get the invitation, it's 2 days out, I go to the exclusive raid, and it's just me. Well, now what do? I can't catch it, I can't beat it by myself, nobody else is going to come. So they've said that they're going to look into the different mechanics of it and the requirements to get the raid pass invitation, to the duration from when you beat the raid to the EX raid. So far it's only been about a week. They might bump that back, they might shorten it. It might have to do with the number of players who have beaten a raid at a certain gym. Which brings up another problem. If you're in a small town and you're the only player who does raids, and you're only doing raids at level 1 through 3 gyms, and they put in they've added to the formula where EX raids will not pop up unless, say, 10 people have beaten a raid at that gym within the past 48 hours. Again, I'm the only person in my town who plays. I'm the only one who raids, and now I can't even get an invite, which I wouldn't be able to beat anyway. But I don't even have the attempt to, I'm not even getting to attempt to solo Mewtwo, because it's saying, well, there's no way that someone can solo a Mewtwo. So there's no point in starting an EX raid where only one person could even potentially be invited. So therefore, you'll never get an invite. So what do you do in that situation if you want a Mewtwo and you're a rural player? Well, travel to the city. So you go into the city, you know, a big city, like around where I live. I could go into Boston and I could participate in some raids there. So I'm going to have to make a day trip to go into Boston, spend a whole day. And I'm going to have to pay to get there, to drive in, to take a train, whatever. And I only get one raid pass a day, so I could hoard them and get 2 free raid passes on one day, but that's it. Anything else, I'm going to have to buy raid passes. So now I go and I spend money on a trip to go to a place that has more players and more gyms and thus more raids, and then buy raid passes to beat raids in the city, to hope one of those gyms gets selected for an EX battle. Then I have to travel back to the city within the time frame, or during the time frame of the battle, to participate. So if I mean, this is not such a big deal, you know, just traveling to the city, but European players who can travel across countries fairly easily, you know, this is a big issue. Now, how about people like Trainer Tips? You know, he travels to Spain, he beats a bunch of Entei raids, and then he gets an EX raid back to Spain. I mean, there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through just to have the potential to even get this. And while I agree that they should not just hand them out, I'm not sure what system to use. Now, right now, there's 2 gyms I'm about to take down. Try to put some Pokemon in here. After I take these gyms down, I'm going to illustrate another problem I've been having. Now, again, this is a rural-ish player problem. I'm not a totally rural player. Where I live has a fair amount of Pokestops, several gyms, but I'm the only real player I see doing anything. Now, there are other players, there's other players in gyms, clearly they're around somewhere, but I never play with them. Last night I was lucky I happened to stumble into a raid for the first time in my town with other people. I'm gonna smash this Flareon real quick. Boom. Yeah, Golem definitely has its place in the meta. That's for sure. And I'm loving this guy. I mean, 98% Golem. Oh, get out of here. Why not? Boom! Good night. It's not good. It doesn't matter. He's a beast. So easy to run over gyms. Now, people are complaining about how easy it is to turn over gyms. You can turn over a gym with a Pidgey. I can turn over gyms and never waste any items. I have about 600 Pokemon. I can just catch new ones, use them to battle. When they faint, turn them into candy. I can put them in gyms. When they faint, turn them into candy. So I can keep doing this. Now, I'm gonna take over this gym. What are we gonna put in here? Now I know I'm streaming and I don't have many people watching, but I guess it's good practice to just talk to yourself in public and just, you know, people are like, what are you doing? I'm streaming. But no, it gives you practice. It makes you more comfortable with just talking. Now I could be a troll and I could put in this Wobbuffet. This is a level 30 Wobbuffet. But we don't want to do that. What do we want to put in here? I need something terrible. Oh, that's pretty terrible. You don't really see any of these in gyms. Now this is very frustrating. I'm still at 40 coins. I didn't get any coins yesterday. If I did, I would have got 50 coins. That would have bumped me up to 90, and then I would have only had to get 10 coins, which would have been easy to do today. Unfortunately, I didn't get any coins yesterday, and this is going to bring up something else that's very frustrating. Is the coin rework. Now, very high, you don't see that every day. I've only seen one Dunsparce so far. I didn't see any Giraffarigs, and then I found a nest of them. I only caught 2, but it's always interesting to see what Pokemon people have and what ones people don't have. In a second, I'll show you guys my Pokedex and my top Pokemon, and you know, just show off a bit. But let me continue talking about this issue. So let's go to my gyms. I have 7 Pokemon defending gyms right now. This is crazy. Before I get into that though, let me go back to the gym rework. A lot of people complain and say they were getting much more coins and Stardust prior to the gym rework whereas other people say no, they get more now. Stardust is not debatable. You don't get any Stardust now, whereas you did get Stardust when you collected your bonuses manually before the last gym rework. However, they removed Stardust, and that has made Stardust, you know, even more of a precious commodity. It's very difficult to come by. Makes it very hard to power Pokemon. I only have 10,000 right now. That's, you know, 2 level power-ups, or, you know, 1 full level. So Stardust has become very scarce. Where I live has so many Nidorans. I've caught in so many. I have a whole slew of Nidoking, a whole bunch of Nidoqueen. Whatever. Ah! No! Bastard! Well, I was gonna try to catch him, or try to beat that gym. In terms of coins, I never had more than 5 gyms controlled at a time when I would collect my 24-hour bonus, or 21-hour bonus, whatever it was. So I actually like the system better now, with, you know, a small caveat, and it's what I'm about to show you. Now, I would have liked to take this gym over too, so I could have 8 gyms, because I have to hope somebody comes along and knocks my Pokemon out so I get the coins. It's getting pretty frustrating. It's to the point, do I make another account and make another team so I can go boot myself out of gyms to get the coins? I'm not doing that. I see a lot of people doing it, and, you know, it makes you wonder. And so today I'm going into a city that has a lot of raids, and I would like to participate in, you know, some of them. And right now I can do 2. I have 1 raid pass and 1 premium raid pass, and I have 40 coins. If I got my 50 yesterday, I would have been up to 90, and I could have got 10 today, because the town I'm going, or the city I'm going to, I could easily just, the gym turnover is very high. There's a lot of players. And I'll be in a group of people, and not all of those people are Valor. And so I can just ask them, hey, can you guys do me a favor? Like, I need 10 coins. I just put a Pokemon in that gym. Can you guys just knock it out for me? About the same thing as if I had another account and I was playing 2 accounts, but I'm just asking somebody with 1 account. However, I'm pretty sure it's against terms of service to have multiple accounts. So let's go check out my gyms and we'll see what the problem is. It should be noted, I live in an Eevee biome. You gotta be kidding me. Come on, knock it out. It doesn't even matter at this point what time in the day it gets knocked out, because I can't get 60 coins. I'll never have another 10 coins. I need that other raid pass. And I screwed up yesterday. I joined the alligator, not a crocodile battle. It's the last raid of the day, and I will say this: I was able to see that there was 2 people in the lobby. I was able to join with 20 seconds left, and I got put in. So the number of players in the lobby, it is an improvement. It's not where it needs to be. I was able to get a 93% crocodile, so not bad. Just gonna walk through the cemetery here, and we're going to go grab those two new Pokestops just added. Back in the distance, you can see the town center, which has the majority of Pokestops. That's the police station where the Arcanine is. Is the Muck. I am happy that Muck became a raid boss, because it's the only one I've ever caught. And I fought 2 Mucks in raids. I've only caught 1. I have a bit of a hard time hitting him. He has a weird hitbox, or hit circle. Very far back, and very small. Muck is a fairly large Pokemon comparatively, and they just made him very, very strangely shaped. But I was able to catch 1, and that gave me my only Muck. I have barely any. I've only caught a couple Grimers. One of the... What? I have a Weedle. I don't know why it's not showing up. So, you can see I'm 216 for 234. I still need a Venusaur. Also, one of the things that should be noted with Stardust is, once I'm level 31 right now, and once I hit level 30, going from 29 to 30 increased the level of wild Pokemon up to their spawn cap. In the wild, they spawn at level 30 maximum. And so when I was 29, I could only see ones that were 29. When I went to 30, it boosted 2 levels, which in some Pokemon made the CP go up, almost 100. I have so many evolutions. It's crazy. But with Stardust becoming so hard to come by, the 2... when I'm catching Pokemon in the wild, I want ones that have good IVs, and I keep ones that have the highest IV or high IVs for that species. But I'm also looking for level 30s in the wild, because it gives me a chance to have Pokemon I would not power up. I would not have had a chance to power up. And it saves me a ton of Stardust. What's up, buddy? Sorry, I'm not doing anything that exciting. I'm just kind of babbling to myself here, talking about the gyms and some of the problems that I'm facing because of the gym rework, issues with raids, issues with Stardust. So what I was just saying is, with Stardust becoming so tight, I keep level 30s that are bad IVs because otherwise I would not have a Pokemon that's that strong. Otherwise, for example, I don't know, what do I have here? Okay, there's a level 30 Vileplume. I would not have powered up a Vileplume with good IVs that I've kept from the beginning because it would cost me so much Stardust. It would cost, it costs like I don't even know, 100,000 Stardust to max out a Pokemon. Something like that. Maybe more. If you guys are in a rural area and you're struggling with Stardust, here's a tip. Always go for the second and third evolutions because you're gonna get more Stardust for the catch. And if you don't have a lot of spawns, then it makes sense to capitalize on that. If you do have a lot of spawns, you could just catch 3 regular Pokemon, get about the same. I should get 300 Stardust for this. There you go. What they need to do is they need to add a berry that doubles the Stardust. Much like the Pineapple berry. Make them more scarce. Or not. I mean, it doesn't really matter. If you're only doubling the Stardust from 100 to 200, that's not that big of a deal. 300 to 600, 500 to 1,000. I mean, it would make sense. And you could save your Stardust berries for when you encounter Pokemon that have a higher, or I should say a lower catch rate, and the evolved Pokemon of a species have lower catch rates than the unevolved forms, and so they're harder to catch, but you get a bigger bonus. So you risk a berry on a Pokemon that's harder to catch, bigger risk, bigger reward, and you get it multiplied. I need to talk a bit quieter. I am in a cemetery. I don't really like playing in the cemetery, but I'm not doing any raids here. I don't want to be disrespectful. But back to the Pokemon. So looking for either high levels in the wild, high levels or high IVs. I caught this guy the other day. I've used a couple TMs on him, got him up to its ideal moveset here. 2843. I still got a good little bit I can power him up, and perfect attack, perfect defense. I think it's like a 96%. Yeah, it was a 96% Dratini. And it was level 30. Yeah, you can't beat that. Or close to level 30. I mean, maybe 29 or something. It was up there. So, not only was the candy hard to come by for Dragonite, but it would have been even harder if he was a low-level Dratini to spend all that Stardust to get him up this level. So, all I had to do was get the candy, evolve him, and he was good to go. On the contrary, we have situations like this, where I caught this guy in the wild. Didn't have to evolve him, it was a Dragonite, but it's the worst it can be. It's the lowest possible CP. What's up, buddy? Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate it. Right now I'm not doing anything too exciting, just just talking, babbling on a little bit. But before I forget too much, let me go show you one of the problems I've been having. And I was talking about this a bit earlier. Now, I can't afford to spend tons of money on this game like some people. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and unfortunately, she can't eat Pokemon. So, I mean, she could, but not virtual reality Pokemon. So, don't know what to do about that. So I can't spend a ton of money on the game, and therefore I can't buy a ton of raid passes. So most of my coins come from the 50 a day in gyms. But I'm not getting those 50 because nobody's kicking me out of gyms. Yeah. It's good for you, buddy. So right now I have 7 gyms. A very low CPM is in there. I've been defending this gym for a total of 26 days. I've had a Goldeen in there for over 2 days. Had a Pikachu in here for over 2 days. I've had a Chansey in this one over 2 days. I've had a Magikarp for a day. Tentacruel. Nidoqueen. One of the problems with the people complain about the gyms being too easy, that you can take down a gym with only a Pidgey and, there's no real challenge. I don't want to heal them because I need somebody to kick them out of the gym. That's the problem. Is that, you know, unless I make another account, there's nobody to kick me out of the gym. And if I heal them, they'll just be there even longer. I already have gold medals in a lot of these gyms. I don't need to keep defending them. I'm not earning anything extra by keeping them in there. I want them to get kicked out. I've been trying to put in crappy Pokemon and people still don't knock them out. I put in low CP Pokemon, they still don't get knocked out. I leave them in there for days, they still don't get knocked out. And it's costing me a lot of coins. It's pretty frustrating. I wish I had more coins so I could get some more raid passes. Now, something Niantic really has to fix is they have to fix the curveball bug. Curveballs are not being registered. And actually, this is something I got to start doing right now. Last night I saw a video from a Japanese Pokemon Go player who had a technique where he was able to spin the ball upside down like this. And get a curveball. So he was throwing it straight, but getting the curveball bonus. I haven't been able to reproduce this. It's not as easy as it looks. It has some. He also said that you have to release the ball within a certain amount of time. I think it's 0.8 seconds from spinning it. Oh yes. Thanks, Clashers. Happy to see you in the stream. Now, with Dittos, I haven't seen too much research on this. I've seen a couple people do this, but there is a way by using a Ditto, you can determine what the CP of a raid boss will be if you catch it. So, I'm from the U.S. I live just north of Boston, Massachusetts. How about you? Where do you play from? And it's nice to see somebody spitting the lyrics to the Pokemon Go Kid song. You know, that kid blew up. You know, he's quite the meme king.